Welcome to the Compliance Officer's Playbook podcast. Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to our deep dive, where we take these really complex regulatory actions and try to turn them into clear, actionable knowledge. Today, our mission is focused squarely on the virtual asset service provider sector, the VASP world. We've got sources on a truly significant fine that was issued against Coinbase Europe Ltd. This one came from the Central Bank of Ireland, the CBI.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this isn't just an Irish story. This enforcement action is basically setting the regulatory temperature for the entire European Union. The CBI sees this as a landmark case. I mean, it's their 162nd enforcement action overall, but, and this is the key bit, it's their first in the crypto sector.
Their first, wow.
Yeah, that alone tells you everything about the shift in regulatory focus that's happening right now.
Absolutely. And the raw number, it just jumps off the page at you, over 21 million euros. But like you said, the size of the penalty, as huge as it is maybe less important than what it signals for the future of crypto regulation in Europe, especially with the new EU Anti-Money Laundering Authority, AMLA, getting ready to centralize everything.
That's the mission for today, really. We're going to analyze the CBI's findings, move past the headline number, and try to understand what bank-level rigor actually means for a VASP. We need to dissect the specifics of the failure, not just the technical mistake, but the governance failure behind it, because that's what defines the new compliance expectations for all of us.
Okay, let's start with the hard facts then. The fine the CDI handed down was exactly 21,464,734 euros. But it's important to understand the process here. The original fine was actually way higher. It was over 30 million euros. Coinbase Europe got a pretty substantial 30% discount because they accepted the facts and, they settled early.
That discount itself is a signal. It shows that even when you're under intense scrutiny, cooperation still buys you some mitigation.
Right.
The breaches themselves were tied directly to the Criminal Justice Act of 2010. We'll just call it the CJA 2010. And this wasn't some, short-term lapse. The period of non-compliance stretched for nearly 4 years, from April 2021 all the way to March 2025.
4 years. In the crypto world, that's an eternity.
It indicates a systemic failure, not an isolated one.
And the core of that failure, as the sources really highlight, it was all about transaction monitoring. But we have to drill down on the why. It wasn't a people problem, it was a tech problem. The sources say it was driven by, and I'm quoting, faults in the configuration of their transaction monitoring system.
And there it is. That's the first absolute crucial takeaway for any compliance officer listening. The regulator is saying in no uncertain terms that technical errors equal compliance failures. This wasn't just an IT glitch. It was a full-blown regulatory breach with massive, massive consequences.
And the scale of that technical error is, it's what justifies the fine. They took a 12-month snapshot inside that 4-year window, and the numbers are just catastrophic. How many transactions actually slipped through?
In that one 12-month period, 30,442,437 transactions were not properly monitored.
30 million.
And to give that some context, the value of those transactions was over 176 billion euros.
Unbelievable.
That was roughly 31% of all of Coinbase Europe's transactions during that time. When a third of your volume just disappears from view, you've negated your entire AML framework.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Let's talk about the cost of fixing this, and more importantly, the cost of the delay. So once they found this configuration issue, it took Coinbase Europe almost 3 years to go back and monitor all those impacted transactions, the 30 million that got missed.
And that 3-year delay is the exact opposite of what AML compliance is for.
If you're loving this conversation and want to be part of keeping it going, the best way to support the show is to become a paid subscriber on Apple Podcasts. You'll get access to the full episode, plus every deep dive we do. Head to Apple Podcasts, search Compliance Officer's Playbook, and join our growing community today. Invite listeners who love this show to become a paid subscriber today for $5 USD, and get full access to all premium episodes packed with insights, stories, and value they won't find anywhere else. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive.